Kawitamiyo. Bon, I have a pen from my bag. Yeah, I saw you spell it. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Kiki's Chat Show. Tonight, Wednesday, the 18th of April, 2018. I hope you heard me the first time. It's welcome to Kiki's Chat Show. I didn't press a button, so I missed a few words. Today is Wednesday, the 18th, 2013. Our topic today is Ghana and its secrets regarding women. Are we really empowered? What is happening? How can it be that somebody can say something about themselves and we all go up in arms? What's happening there? Is there a problem with our system? We think that Ghana, the Ghana that we live in and love, is liberating. Women are liberated, but it looks like it's just a percentage of women that are liberated. Even the educated women are having serious problems with where they're standing in the whole liberation thing. Ghana seems to be a men's world. Men seem to control us, our thoughts and our whole thought process. Men seem to control a lot of things that even we are not aware of. And I even think personally that men have controlled us so much now that all our actions and the things we do, we kind of work towards impressing the men without even knowing that that's what we're doing. Are we really liberated? Come out of Ghana and you see that we really aren't. I mean, there are women chief justices, women lawyers, women judges, women in powerful businesses, women all over the place doing bigger and better things. And whilst we have all these women doing all these things, we then have our militias. Our militia has created a huge debate in Ghana. We are all up in arms from seeing a small clip of the CNN interview between Christiana Amanpour and Moesha Bundung. That 1 minute clip drove Ghanaian women into a wild frenzy, and quite rightly so, because swathes of Ghanaian women don't survive on handouts from sugar daddies. And most of them are upstanding Christian women who value hard work and bringing up respectable families with love and care. There are a lot, actually, of single women in Ghana who have children. Men have left them, men have died, men are not in the picture. and yet their children grow. And let me tell you that I have great respect for some women I know in my growing up who have, they sell tomatoes or onions, or they're makola women. They're called makola mommies, and you don't know where the men are, but they have children in their homes, and they do really well. We have the respectable Christian ones who are married and live in miserable situations. However, they are working hard to give the children the education they deserve, and they do all sorts of things. Because you see, I put them miserable in it because it is their husbands. Those educated women, those Christian women who suffer silently, they are the ones whose husbands. Has anyone wondered, though, in this whole Moesha Bundung issue, that nobody is saying anything about the men? I mean, we're talking about women are angry, and quite rightly so. You know, women are upset. Women are, you know, they kind of feel that this has brought something to the fore, and they're trying to impress upon people that that is not the picture. And it's true. That is generally not the true picture, because there are women out there working hard. But the thing is, there are men married to these women, and those men, those married men, now there is no rich man, very few men who have disposable incomes, who have wives who don't have girlfriends. That is just not true. All these men, now it's not all of them, of course. They're, you know, responsible, straight, well-behaved men out there who don't do this sort of thing. But the majority of them do. And we've known this. I am a Ghanaian. I know this. And listen, this is not a Ghana issue. This is worldwide. It happens everywhere. It happens here in this country, UK, where I'm sitting. It happens in America. It happens everywhere. There are red light districts. There are all sorts of places. There are men who, alongside their wives, have steady girlfriends who they love and cherish, who they talk to even more than their wives, who build houses for them, who, you know, they do all sorts of things. They even have children with them. Now, the Moesha Bundungs of this world, especially the Moesha from Ghana, her mistake really was to say, oh, well, you know, what is a girl going to do? You finished university, you have to pay a down payment and all of this. Excuse me, Moesha, my question to you is, and this is aside from the point, because I'm still on the fact of the married men. I need to talk about the men she was talking about. But I need, the question to Moesha is, when she said that, all that flashed through my mind was, hey, won't you work and save some money to pay the 2-year down payment? What are you talking about? People haven't even mentioned it, but in truth, we save to do things. I saved money to be able to buy my house mortgage. I saved to be able to even rent a place to stay in it. I had to save. I didn't kind of go and find money from somewhere before I lived somewhere. I had to stay at home, or I had to say, where was Moesha living before she finished the university? Could she not go back home or live with a friend or do something before? I mean, what is the whole thing? People don't save? Or is she saying that, you know, from university immediately you have a house, you have a car? Come on, it took me ages to buy my truck. I have a truck. My dream since I was a child was to drive a big car. I'm driving it now, but I worked hard. Like working in the morning, going to work at my usual job, and then coming some days to do this radio show. This is how I bought my truck. Apart from other things that I do that I will not even tell you. But I feel proud when I do work that no man is involved in it. It is my pride. Now, listen to me. Girls, young girls who saw the show, who saw Moesha's interview, I need you to understand. And in fact, it's girls worldwide. Wherever you are, I need you to understand that. A woman, your respect comes from you. A woman without standards will probably accept rubbish from the people she interacts with. She may end up being used, misused, and abused. And it happens all the time. The Moeshas of this world, they have a season. And when she's young, full of life, nice skin, blah, 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 she will look good, and the men will do untold things with her and keep, they're paying your rent. So what happens when they get fed up and decide not to pay your rent? What do? People will take advantage of you. Friends may take you for granted, and men will mistreat you. Now, if you have a headache, Moesha, and a man comes, and because he's paying your rent, you have to sleep with him just so you can pay your rent, Moesha, you've got a problem. Because for how long is this gonna last? The way you conduct yourself will determine how people treat you in your relationships, in your life, and even at your workplace. Now, I don't know if Moesha has a proper job, but she says that she is a model and an Instagram star and all of these things. That's all very well and good, Moesha. However, how long does it last? If you don't have a job to keep you going, how long? And are you going to have children? Because, she omitted to tell Christiana Amanpour that one of the things that we look for in our lives, it's traditional, is that every woman must have a husband and children. Now, how do you manage that with all of these men? Are you then accidentally going to have a child with a rich man and then put it around his neck like an albatross and say, well, I have your child, you have to pay for it. So now you're going to benefit from having a child with somebody's husband? What kind of nonsense is that? So, well, here we go. Moesha, this is my abuse to you. And that's it. One thing, advice I will give to Moesha, though, is every woman needs to know her worth and to act in such a way that it is apparent to everybody else. If you carry yourself in a certain way, then people will treat you accordingly. Moesha, learn to act in ways that will raise your value instead of diminishing it. If it is your lifelong career to be a rich man's mistress, and therefore this is how you want to go, just be careful and conduct yourself in such a way that you join the band of disappointed, sad women who are maltreated, disrespected, and maligned by the rest of the community. Now, my second issue is with women of Ghana. My dear women, after this whole Moesha debacle, a lot of people got cross and said all sorts of things. Yes, I hear you. Ghanaian women, actually, we really work very hard. And sometimes it is disappointing and disconcerting when you hear a man talk as if women don't exist. I read a report somewhere and it really upset me. And this is a while ago, a few years back. There was a women's conference where they were talking about the value of women in their countries and how they help their country's economy. Several countries said whatever they wanted to say, and they spoke well. One of their concerns of the majority of women were, the gender pay gap, safety for women, and the other thing was sexual violence. A lot of countries had their representatives were women, and they spoke about, trying to eradicate sexual violence. Some countries East African countries were concerned about HIV. Some countries were talking about gender pay gap. And when Ghana came on, the speaker was a man called Ken Kanda, and he said that in his country, agriculture accounted for 42% of gross domestic product. Therefore, most of the food crop farmers were women. His government, therefore, and he spoke extensively about agriculture, and he spoke about credit facilities. He spoke about improved technological assistance. He spoke about skills in management and finance, and on he went. And I was quite distressed because he did not speak about the emotional stance of women. He did not speak about the emotional troubles that women go through. He didn't speak about safety. He did not speak about jobs. All he was talking about was agriculture. Now, there are many facets of a woman's life which adds to a whole country. I was listening to another program when the Rwandan president spoke just a few days ago. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And his whole ideal was how women and men and everything his country was doing really well. And then he spent some time talking about women and how they added to the value of his country, etc. And, we have women and gender ministers, we have all sorts of things. How did it happen that this man, Ken Kanda, was the speaker for Ghana? That bothered me, and this bothered me years ago. So I just thought I'd share this with you. Our lives, women's lives in Ghana, our beloved country, is not that high on a man's list. Even though we have these women who speak for Ghana, who do this, do that, there's still something lacking. Now, I want each woman, wherever you are, to think about what I'm saying carefully. Yes, we are hypocritical because some of our issues, we hand it to the men to maltreat us. We do not think from the lines of, what is he saying? Where am I in the level of what he's saying? Why is he saying it for me? These are the things that we have to think of when we are thinking of ourselves. Now, woman, look at yourself. You are the person who brings life into this world. You bring life into this world. Woman, you are the one who has the sons and the daughters of this world. What is happening to woman? Now, even so, even if we are going to say that we have been maligned, maltreated, things have not gone well for us, let us not dwell in the past. The time is now. This is our time for us to kind of say to ourselves, it is enough. Let me think clearly. When someone is saying something to you and it doesn't sit well with you, take a pause, think about it. Now, going back to the Christiana Amanpour interview, I am quite angry. I must remind you, though, that I only have an hour, so I ramble on very quickly because there's so many issues that we can discuss. I only have an hour. Right. Now, the CNN reporter, Christiane Amanpour, she then, because Ghanaians were upset, because Moesha had said, Ghanaian women do this sort of thing and they have affairs, blah, 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 da. And women got upset, and quite rightly so, as I said previously. She then writes a rebuttal yesterday. So I woke up this morning to read what she said, and her point was that, people should have freedom of speech. and that this girl is speaking her truth and all of that. That is interesting. Christiana, shut the fuck up. This, you entered into our country, you said things which upset us, or you behaved as if a girl having an affair with a rich man and him buying things for her was shocking, which is not, because all over the America that you come from, this happens daily. There are mistresses, there are sister wives, there are young girls being preyed on by rich men. There are men who maltreat girls, who are then, it becomes a police case, and then the men are let off. Every nasty thing around sex is happening in America. It happens in the Western world. So shut up and do not be sending rebuttals. And how dare you even go as far as calling on the president and the Minister of Gender and Women Affairs, whatever it is. How dare you? Who do you think you are, that because you are a Westerner, you think that you are at the level of speaking to our president? That is another thing that got me angry. You do not do that, and this is your first and last. Now, if you want to speak about, you went down level, picked up somebody to be able to show us if it is love and sex in different countries. This is not what depicts love and sex. We do have love, we do always have sex, and we do have different levels of people. Now, if you want salacious news and you have found someone who has said something that has upset us, do you think that it is right for you to come and talk about? If it wasn't free speech, we would not make that comment. And if you feel, Christiana Mampo, that you can speak what you like, we too can say when we don't like it. And that is how it goes. So there I am telling you that don't mess with us, because if we don't like something, we will talk about it. Now, another thing. Maybe there are, and of course it's not a maybe, there are, and in poverty, when someone needs help in situations, if you feel that you need money, if you see other people sitting in big cars, yes, there are children of rich people, there are young business women, there are people who luckily, because of who they know, they get jobs. Yes, there is disparity in the level of, things that happen. That disparity is in every country. Now, there are girls who do have sugar daddies all over the world. And yes, this is their way of coming up and doing all the things that they do. Moesha upset us because she washed our dirty linen in public. Moesha, we know Moesha. I've known Moesha since the day she wore those tight waist clinchers and collapsed in the mall and was taken to the hospital. Pictures were shown. That's the first time I ever saw her. I didn't know who she was. This is last year or the year before. Since that time, the waist clincher has worked, and now Moesha has a small waist, huge boobs, and a huge bum. That is fine. If her plan, this was her way to make money, to get her rent paid, to get food on her table, fine. People do that. It's not a biggie. She's not the only one. Some people, they do not have choice. So it is in truth. And the truth is, some people do not have choices, and they do not know anyone in a top level place. So you have to do this. You need a sugar daddy to get you where you want to be. That's your own thing. Moesha, you have washed our dirty linen in public, and you can be forgiven for being slutty all over Facebook and Instagram in your own country. That's fine. But if you come on CNN and talk about it and tell the world that women depend on married men to look after them, to pay their rent, that is wrong. How many women do that anyway? There are lots of poor women out there who are working, selling tomatoes, doing things. I'm not saying all women should do that. And I wish all women would get a job wherever they want, in an office or whatever they want to do, so that they can afford Because Ghana is an oil-rich country, and at this point, we really should start looking at social security, but we don't. So that is another issue. But people, please, please. I think that the woman had a bigger agenda. I'm talking about Christiana Mpo. She had a bigger agenda than that. And she has portrayed us badly. And we have every right to be cross. I think that Moesha made a mistake in her statement. And so, of course, we are cross. And we have every right to be cross. Everyone has a right to be cross. If I wanted to get on a high horse, I would just concentrate on the hypocrisy of Ghana and how this has been happening over and over again. Nobody's really done anything. It happens, yeah, blah, blah. But someone's brought it out. We need Ghanaians, all of you, and in fact, everybody. We need to elevate our women a little bit more. We need a society where fresh graduates are expected to provide evidence of 5 years of working experience. If that is the case, how will you get a job? So we need to try and do some apprenticeship or let people get into jobs where they can prove themselves and then start with, living properly. I mean, we have problems in Ghana. Come on. It's just too much. And everyone has this get rich quick thing about, people go to pastors to give them an oil to do this, a sticker to do that. Why? We have to take on the whole thing. And another thing, I'm not rambling because I have to come back and say that there is a percentage of women who do well. But they are all from a percentage of the society where it is expected of them to do well. They know each other. They are quickly put my brother, my sister, my this, my that. So, and then the rest, the majority of people out there who are poor, who can't do who are needing help. Come on, we need to help each other somehow. Societies are being set up now. Women are making groups. I'm excited about that because at some point, women have to rise up. I'm begging you guys that women have to rise up and women have to help each other. There was this story which bothered me a lot, and it's all surfacing in the Moesha Wungdong case. Last week, while people were screaming and shouting about Moesha, a strange thing occurred. A child was sick, taken to hospital. The child needed oxygen. The doctor took the oxygen off the child because the parents could not afford to pay. And so because they were not paying for the child, he took the oxygen off. Of course, the child died because he needed the oxygen to live. So the child died. Now, ladies, I am not blaming you, but we have loads of female doctors inside Ghana. I'm not even talking about the ones who are outside who need to go back and help. No, I'm talking about the number of doctors in Ghana, female doctors, who are not even being given the chance to work. Because I do not think that if a woman was the one looking after that child, she would have taken that oxygen off that child. So I want all these women in Ghana to shed a tear that look at what has happened. Look at our situation. Ladies, we need to do something. The one thing you can do is if you are in any field of work and you can help another woman, please do it. Invite another one. Give another woman a job. You women out there who don't employ women, you are the problem. You are the problem. You breed the Moeshas of this world. I'm going to play some music and I'll come back and talk some more. But really, we need to help ourselves. We need to do something. We need to help ourselves. The number to call is 0203-735-8820 or 0203-286-0185 if you want to talk or say something about the situation. Yes, I'm here ready to speak to you, but if not, more music.
People are commenting. I don't know how to incorporate that into
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, caller.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well, thank you.
Hello.
I'm here. Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Excellent.
I heard your conversation. Now, I don't live in Ghana.
Yeah.
As a woman, I feel that women should have respect for themselves and not let men, right, use and abuse them.
Yes.
But I don't know what all this is about. Can you please explain it?
I'll explain it to you. A woman, a young girl, Christiana Amanpour of CNN went to Ghana, and she's having a program on CNN on Sunday or Saturdays called Love and Sex in Different Countries around the world. Love and Sex around the world. And she interviewed a girl in Ghana, and this girl said, well, you know, she sleeps with men to have her rent paid, her car, fuel in her car, and just general living. So as she spoke, Christiane Amanpour was like, oh my God, do you really do that? Oh my God, and all of that. Now she said, oh yeah, I mean, you know, we all do that. We, you know, what? So the ladies of Ghana who work hard, who were quite upset, because for them the issue is, if you do that, say I do that. But the minute, you know, the thing is on CNN. CNN it's an international TV show. It comes on in all countries. Everyone is going to see that Ghanaian women depend on men for their general living, for their rents, their this, their that. They sleep with them, and so especially, you know, that young group. So a lot of girls got quite cross, and I agree. Now, she didn't even, what she said was, I sleep with married men. Now that in itself is consternation bringing, because how can you say such a thing about us and our, you know, our lives, our families, our this and that and the other. Now, this is the age of awareness where women are trying to be independent and they're doing it for themselves. Women are setting up businesses. Women in Ghana especially, women are very independent and they work very hard. We have had women chief justices, women in top jobs. We have ministers, we have doctors, we have lawyers. I mean, you know, so for her to say that just drove women into a frenzy. But after she said that and everyone got quite cross, she then apologized and said, I'm sorry, I should have said me or people like me and not all Ghanaian women, which was something which drew a pause. But then, to annoy the whole of the Ghana community again, Christiana Amanpour comes on and says, how dare you people? What do you mean by getting angry with her? A person should have freedom of speech and should be able to say what they like or how their life is. Of course, If she didn't have freedom of speech, she would never have come on your show to say this nonsense in the first place. And so that is what I'm talking about. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For them. But yeah, this is what the problem, I think. Yeah, as a woman, she should have not degraded another woman, right? Why are you sleeping with married men? And is it your choice? Or is it because you want anything out of it? Can't you find a proper job? You know, instead of counseling, she's degrading everybody.
Yes. And yes, that's it. You said it. That's the thing. You have degraded a lot of people just because of your choices. And if it is not your choice, can you explain why you do this? And why are you making it look like the whole of Ghana does that? So this is why we're talking about that. But I spoke about that. But one of my issues also is with Christiana Amanpour, with her affront, with her thinking that she can go into a country, say what she likes or do what she likes, and then when we vex, she then writes to us to tell us to just pull our socks up and shut up. No, she can't do that.
And the thing is, she as a woman, right? She herself should understand if a woman is sleeping with a married man, there must be a reason.
Yes.
Yeah. Nobody wants to sleep with married men. Nobody wants to sleep around unless until they have no other option.
Yes.
Yeah. And if women, even here who are single parents in this country, are working hard and they don't need a man to run their house. Even Ghanaian women I'm talking about.
I know. And so this is why we're up in arms a little bit. But I'm not cross so much with Moesha because I believe that Moesha can do whatever she wants because she is not the only one. I know people who do these sort of things. We see them all the time. And so they sit, you're working and you are sitting in a rickety car and they're not working and they're sitting in a nice car. But so what? Everybody deals their life the way they see it fit. If I die, you will look at me in a different way. Maybe on my epitaph they will write, there she lies, she worked hard and she died. But maybe on Moesha's, she doesn't mind being said, this is a woman who men have paid her rent and da-da-da-da-da. That is life. However, we really must stop that thing where people come into our countries and come and say and bring out all sorts of nonsense that it is for us. It is our country. If we have a shitty country, that's our business. I take offense, and I take offense that when you've done that, you then write to us and tell us that we should shut up. What?
Americans and, as you know, British, right, have a habit of creating lava in other people's countries. Yeah. They will not, shut up. They will think the country is better than ours, right? But in fact, in their country, it's more. Yeah. But they never show that. Like if you look at in television, if they show India, they show the poorest side of it.
Yes.
If they show Ethiopia, they show the poor side of it. They don't show the, beautiful parts of it. Yeah. It's their way of dealing, right, with other people's countries. They always want other people to be down.
Yes.
And I'm not being racist, but I've seen it myself during the years of growing up in this country. I have seen it. I mean, if I went for an interview and the was on a telephone interview with me. But when they see me, they get a great shock that I'm not English. But my accent is very good because I've been brought up here.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with you, and it happens all the time. I'll tell you a story. Years ago, I was looking for a loan, and I went to a bank, and it was NatWest. I used to bank with NatWest Bank, and I you fill in a form, and blah blah blah. You take it, and then I spoke to the woman on the phone as well, the manager, and she said, yeah, come in and sign something. You've got the loan, come in and sign for it, blah, blah, blah. So then, this is years ago. And then I went into the bank, and there was this woman in the bank, and she mentioned my name, candykisseih and all this. And then she was looking around. I was the one. I got up, and I was coming towards her. But she was looking beyond me, because she thought that she was speaking to a white person, and so therefore, so I said, it's me. And I'm sure if she knew it was me, she would not have given me the loan. Now, this happens all the time. We get that. So, this is what we have to deal with in this country, and that sort of thing. So, yeah. So, where we have in this time of awareness, in this modern time, we shouldn't really allow people to come into our countries and just do what they want and take it and depict it in that way. And if we then say we don't like it, how dare her write and tell us that? How dare we say that?
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you one example. I was working in a post office, and I needed a day off, so I talked to my boss in my language, because I didn't want everybody to hear what my business is about, right? And there was an English woman standing there, and she goes to me, why can't you speak English when you are in this country? I said, do you speak my language when you go in my country?
That's a good one. That's an absolutely good one. Yeah, I mean, this is the point. But you see, the thing is, we ourselves do not respect ourselves. And so we bring this upon us where we need to give ourselves respect a little bit and stop this thing where these people decide what they can and cannot do, what they say and go, how dare, my anger, and I only have an hour, so I have to hurry up and say this and go, is, after we have been angry for whatever reason, whatever angered us and got us into a tailspin about the whole thing about Moesha not talking for herself, but talking for the Ghanaian woman and all of that, if we are annoyed, how dare you then tell me that I shouldn't be angry? That is what drove me crazy. Yeah. I mean, they go to places and learn about them, and enough is enough. We have to do something about it. And if, she wrote to the president and to the gender minister and all of that. And I'm saying to her, look at you. The president and the gender minister should really be careful, because whilst we are all angry with Moesha's sentences or how she phrased it, they better be careful of people coming in and upsetting the majority. Of course.
You're very right there, and I can feel your anger, right? I think you're completely right. And in fact, the president should write her a letter saying that, you should apologize to my country, to create such a big palaver.
I agree with you, and we shall see where we go from here with this matter, because it's totally out of, I don't know how to say it, but yes, out of proportion, out of everything. It is very upsetting, very annoying. Mm-hmm. I think you're right.
Yeah, so that would be my advice. Get all the women to sign a petition saying that they're against this, right? It has put their country down, and you, as a president, should be respecting us, not another country.
I think you're right. I think you are right. And we have to deal with it in that way. We have to deal with our own issues. And as you said, that they behave the same way in India, they behave the same. They think that we're still a Commonwealth. But here we are in a Commonwealth where you are sending the people who helped you build the country back. And you are sending it under stealth, under stealth methods. So we have to all be careful who we embrace. And whilst we are embracing them, I don't know whether we should be embracing them, but even us being here, there are reasons why we ended up here. You came to our countries and did all sorts of things, and yet you're sitting here and you make these. Well, Christiana Mampo actually is not a British, so I shouldn't even be shouting at the British on this issue. I should be shouting at the Americans. Like, we have a saying in Ghana which says "Ziufiasam," which means eat your own house matter, and that's what it is. Deal with your home issues. She should go and deal with the prostitutes and the people who sleep with married men and the men having affairs, the president and his that woman who is now going to court. These are issues that are happening in America right now, and you come to Ghana and come and make us look foolish. Nonsense. Anyway, thank you so much. Excellent. Thank you so much for calling. Yeah, bye. Yes, callers. I really went crazy on that one. And my hour is practically up. I can see that guy who always comes into my video and disrupts it. And I don't know. Anyway,
who are you upset
people,
about?
I'm upset about the interview woman and all.
I
Now listen, today, the 18th of April, is a good day. The sun shone from the moment I woke up, and I woke up about 5:45, and the sun was out before I woke up. It was a beautiful day. Everyone was in a good mood. I was a bit delayed in traffic today because of so many things. I do not know, and I do not care.
You said you had a good day, so how can you be late?
And I was late. And then I got to work. It was beautiful. I had a lovely lunch with a few friends. And then I have come here today, and I've had a little bit of a go at Christiana Mampo, a go at our poverty issues, a go at our hypocrisy, which we can address. So I'm not too cross about that. But I've had a go at many things. Ladies, I have only 1 hour, so everything is compacted and it's busy and it's hectic. And I wore a white top. I'm not a wearer of white, but today I wanted to wear the white to show the world, the earth, Mother Earth, that I am grateful that she made the sun shine. And I hope the sun continues to shine. A lot of things upset a lot of people. But when you think about it, when you let 3 or 4 days pass over it, it becomes nothing. Life is precious, and while you have it, don't spend too much time on being cross. I have said what I want to say, and it's now behind me. I have joined a group. It is called Gwen. Now, Gwen is Ghanaian Women, Empowerment Network. And it is to empower women to empower other women. So we're going to do this. I will keep telling you little bits about it. If you know me, if you're on my Facebook page and you want to join Gwen, let me know and I'll connect you. Everyone can join it. It's on Facebook. And I wish you all well. I'm going to play my last these days, and I also want you to know though, now, I play a lot of Afrobeat, and I try to find instrumentals to play because Facebook will not let me play my jazz. And this is a radio station, and we have a license, so we can play anything. And yet, because of Facebook, I cannot play jazz. I cannot play the sort of music that I want to go with what I'm saying, or the sort of music that I want to share with you, or when I find some new piece of jazz. At the moment, I'm so in love with, I've forgotten his name now, but I've just discovered some musician that I love, and I want to play him, but I can't. Until Facebook relaxes their copyright issues, I will not be able to. So anyway, dig this. It is really nice.
What kind of jazz are you looking for?
Oh, any jazz, lots of jazz. Bye bye, my
So
beloved.
long as you're doing Facebook Live, you know.
Huh?
If you're doing Facebook Live, yeah, you're a bit restricted with the kind of.
Isn't that what I just said?
Yeah, but I'm saying that there are some Ghanaian jazz that one you can do. The old one.
Can you
The
give me
old
that?
one.
Can you?
They're all there. Next time when I'll come early next week and I'll show you.
Oh really? That's right. He's gonna come next week to help me. People say thank you to him. He's very kind. I'm wearing white, people.
Because you're happy. It's a happy day.
Yeah.
Alright.
Bye bye now. I've got to go. And because this guy is on my tail.
Yeah. We're gonna have fun. So yeah.